Hey, Cowboys Nation, this is Cowboys Wire News, your home for breaking news, smart analysis, rumors, and film room insights. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a snap. Let's talk America's team. The NFL rumor mill has been ablaze ever since whispers began circulating about the Dallas Cowboys' latest defensive acquisition. And if the speculation proves true, it could signal a seismic shift in the league. Brian Burns, widely regarded as one of the premier edge rushers of his generation, has reportedly agreed to terms with Dallas, creating an atmosphere of excitement and intrigue around AT&T Stadium. Sources hint that this move is more than just a routine signing. It represents a statement of intent from a franchise desperate to reassert its dominance. Burns, known for his explosive speed, off the edge and uncanny ability to disrupt quarterbacks in high-pressure situations, could instantly transform the Cowboys' defensive front. Analysts are already debating how his presence will impact the dynamics of a defensive line that has shown flashes of brilliance but often struggled against elite offensive units. Conversations among fans are equally intense, ranging from cautious optimism to outright euphoria, as the idea of Burns patrolling the edge alongside established talent conjures visions of relentless pressure and game-changing plays. The ripple effect of this potential signing is profound, with rival teams suddenly reconsidering their offensive strategies and play calling, aware that facing Dallas' reinvigorated defense might become an entirely different challenge. Speculation suggests that Burns' arrival could catalyze a defensive renaissance in Dallas, a city that has long demanded excellence on both sides of the ball. While the Cowboys have boasted impressive individual talent, consistency has often eluded them, particularly when facing high-octane offenses with multiple receiving threats. Burns, with his combination of agility, strength, and football IQ, might just be the missing ingredient, the linchpin capable of unlocking a new era of defensive dominance. Observers point out that his versatility allows him not only to rush the passer, but also to drop into coverage and disrupt running schemes, a multifaceted skill set that head coach and defensive coordinators will likely exploit to its fullest potential. Rumors suggest internal excitement is palpable, with locker room chatter hinting at heightened energy levels and renewed competitiveness among existing players eager to rise to the occasion. Fans are equally energized, flooding social media with speculations about defensive formations, potential sacks, and game-altering scenarios that could emerge once Burns officially dons the star-emblazoned jersey, even without formal confirmation. The very notion of Burns in Dallas seems to have already rewritten narratives surrounding the team's defensive identity, injecting a sense of urgency and optimism that had been largely dormant in recent seasons. As discussions continue to swirl, insiders note that this move may also have a profound impact on team culture. Burns' reputation as a relentless competitor and disciplined professional resonates deeply, with a franchise seeking not just talent but leadership on and off the field. Teammates reportedly admire his work ethic, and speculation abounds that his presence could elevate younger players, instilling habits and attitudes that foster sustained excellence. The idea of a locker room invigorated by a player of Burns' caliber has fans dreaming of a defense that intimidates opponents from the first snap to the last whistle. Analysts are breaking down potential matchups, calculating how opposing quarterbacks might adjust their reads, and pondering how offensive coordinators could attempt to neutralize the constant threat that Burns represents. Even casual observers have begun to rethink Dallas' standing in the league hierarchy, speculating whether this singular addition could tilt competitive balance in the team's favor. As the rumor continues to circulate, the sense of anticipation is almost palpable, as if the city itself is holding its collective breath, waiting for the official word that could confirm what many are already celebrating as a masterstroke of defensive strategy beyond the field. Speculation about the strategic ramifications of Burns' signing is already fueling intense debate among pundits. Could Dallas' defensive approach pivot entirely, leaning into schemes that maximize Burns' ability to wreak havoc on opposing quarterbacks? Could we see formations that prioritize pressure over coverage, trusting Burns to disrupt and dominate the line of scrimmage? Rumors suggest that coordinators are already brainstorming intricate adjustments designed to exploit his unique skill set, while opponents scramble to anticipate how the Cowboys' defense will now challenge every facet of the game. Conversations in sports circles revolve around the psychological effect as much as the physical, with many noting that the mere presence of a player like Burns can alter the confidence and decision-making of quarterbacks, sometimes before a single snap is thrown. The narrative of Dallas transforming from a competent unit to an intimidating, fear-inducing defense is gaining traction, with social media amplifying every nuance and insider tip. Fans are dissecting video clips, speculating about potential highlight reel plays, and imagining scenarios in which Burns becomes the heartbeat of a defensive identity long in need of reinvention. The sheer anticipation surrounding this potential acquisition has become a story unto itself, one that seems to grow in intensity with each passing hour. Even the broader league landscape cannot escape the buzz. Rival teams are reportedly monitoring developments closely, recalculating offensive tactics, and considering how to counteract the possibility of Dallas fielding a defense anchored by Burns. From division opponents to conference contenders, speculation about strategic adjustments dominates conversations, highlighting the outsized influence that a single elite player can exert. Analysts debate not only the immediate impact, but also long-term consequences, projecting how Burns' presence could shape draft priorities, trade strategies, and even coaching decisions. The rumor has sparked a kind of domino effect, where every narrative about Dallas' defensive potential is now tied to one name, one player whose reputation precedes him. Fans, commentators, and insiders alike are caught in a whirlwind of conjecture, fueled by a mix of admiration, excitement, and cautious skepticism. As the details remain tantalizingly unconfirmed, every anecdote, past performance, and scouting report is scrutinized anew, as if collectively the football world is attempting to envision the defensive juggernaut that might emerge from this rumored acquisition. Amidst all this speculation, one thing becomes clear: the buzz surrounding Brian Burns and the Dallas Cowboys transcends ordinary off-season chatter. Whether the rumor solidifies into reality or not, it has already captured imaginations, sparked debates, and redefined expectations for a franchise that has long sought defensive supremacy. Fans are constructing scenarios, projecting outcomes, and eagerly anticipating the synergy that Burns' addition could create alongside established stars and emerging talents. The narrative is no longer just about wins and losses. It is about identity, culture, and the bold message that Dallas might be sending to the league. In a world where rumors can ignite excitement as powerfully as confirmed moves, this particular story resonates deeply, offering a glimpse into what could become a transformative era. Every conversation, every headline, and every fan speculation continues to amplify the sense that the Cowboys may be on the verge of something historic, all hanging on one explosive defensive force named Brian Burns. As speculation continues to dominate sports conversations, the league-wide implications of Brian Burns joining the Dallas Cowboys are becoming impossible to ignore. Rivals are reportedly scrambling to reevaluate their offensive blueprints, pondering how to handle a player whose speed and technique have made him a nightmare for quarterbacks across the country. Rumors suggest that division rivals are already conducting mock simulations, trying to anticipate the rotations and blitz packages that Dallas could employ with Burns leading the charge. The psychological impact alone could prove substantial as quarterbacks adjust their timing, avoid certain pockets, and second-guess their reads, all under the looming threat of an edge rusher capable of altering the course of a game in a single play. Fans and analysts alike are constructing intricate scenarios where Burns forces turnovers, pressures elite passers, and becomes the catalyst for defensive dominance that reshapes entire seasons. Social media feeds are overflowing with clips of past performances, speculative X's and O's diagrams, and debates about how defensive alignments might evolve, reinforcing the notion that Burns' potential arrival is more than a transaction. It is a strategic earthquake. Even casual observers are being drawn into the conversation, with the rumor alone sufficing to generate headlines, podcasts, and viral commentary. Every whisper about his contract, potential role, and locker room influence fuels a narrative that the Cowboys are not merely improving. They are signaling a renewed era of fearsome defensive identity beyond strategy and rival calculations. The potential addition of Burns appears poised to reshape the very culture within Dallas locker room. Rumors indicate that veteran players are buzzing with anticipation, imagining how his presence could elevate practices, meetings, and game day preparation. Burns is known not only for his skill on the field but for his leadership qualities, which reportedly inspire teammates to refine techniques, increase focus, and embrace accountability at every level. Speculation has coaches envisioning a domino effect, where younger players mirror his intensity and professional approach, cultivating a culture of relentless competitiveness that extends beyond the field into all aspects of team life, observers suggest that Burns' work ethic and discipline might reinforce the franchise's long-term goals, fostering cohesion among a roster eager to compete at the highest level. Rumors also suggest that his charisma and locker room influence could soften tensions and unite disparate personalities, creating an environment in which collective ambition becomes the driving force. Fans are imagining an energizing effect that transcends statistics and metrics, where the presence of one elite defender inspires a total transformation of team morale, focus, and identity. In this sense, the rumor of Burns signing ignites conversations not only about football, but about leadership, culture, and the intangible qualities that separate good teams from legendary ones. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. The narrative surrounding Burns also ignites fascinating discussions about defensive schematics and potential matchups across the league. Analysts are reportedly entertaining radical adjustments in formations, suggesting that the Cowboys could deploy packages designed to maximize his ability to disrupt both the run and the pass. Speculation abounds about edge rotations, zone blitzes, and creative stunts meant to exploit Burns' agility and football IQ, effectively turning every snap into a calculated opportunity to challenge quarterbacks and offensive lines. Fans are dissecting highlight reels, imagining how Burns could collapse pockets, force hurried throws, and even generate game-changing turnovers in pivotal moments. The rumor fuels strategic debates, inspiring some to predict that Dallas might embrace a defensive philosophy centered entirely around pressure and disruption, trusting Burns to set the tone while other defenders capitalize on mistakes. Even casual conversations among followers of the sport reflect excitement over potential highlight reels, matchups against elite quarterbacks, and the broader implications for playoff aspiration. The mere thought of Burns lining up opposite the league's top passers has analysts speculating about how offenses may need to innovate or alter traditional timing schemes, emphasizing just how disruptive his arrival could become. With each new rumor and insider tidbit, the narrative surrounding Dallas defense grows more elaborate, vibrant, and impossible to ignore. On a fan level, the rumor of Burns joining the Cowboys has triggered a social media frenzy unmatched in recent memory. Supporters are sharing reaction videos, mock highlight compilations, and speculative graphics showing potential sack leaders and defensive dominance. Podcasts and online forums are buzzing with theories about how the team's defensive ranking could dramatically improve, how game momentum might shift, and whether Burns could become the cornerstone of a dynasty in the making. Every fragment of information, from scouting reports to past performance metrics, is dissected and debated, giving the rumor a life of its own that extends far beyond conventional coverage. Even casual observers, who normally skim headlines, are getting drawn into discussions about defensive rotations, edge pressure schemes, and the psychology of facing a player capable of altering the trajectory of a game with a single play. The energy surrounding this potential acquisition has already redefined the narrative for Dallas, turning a speculative signing into a cultural phenomenon, a talking point that dominates water cooler conversations, sports bars, and online communities alike. As the rumor spreads, the line between speculation and reality becomes increasingly blurred, yet the excitement it generates is unmistakable, reflecting a collective anticipation that few off-season stories ever achieve. League-wide, the mere possibility of Burns in Dallas is prompting rival teams to reconsider long-term planning. Rumors indicate that coaching staffs are reevaluating personnel, draft priorities, and even contract strategies, anticipating that opposing offenses may need to adapt extensively to counteract Dallas' potential defensive renaissance. The chatter is particularly intense among quarterbacks camps, who are reportedly studying tape of Burns' past performances, analyzing angles, and predicting how his presence could impact pre-snap reads and protection schemes. Analysts are speculating that even elite offenses might find themselves adjusting game plans to avoid being overpowered at the line of scrimmage, underscoring the outsized influence a single defensive talent can wield. Conversations about defensive impact are intertwined with predictions about playoff outcomes, postseason matchups, and the possibility of a team once regarded as merely competitive transforming into a fearsome contender. Fans are constructing detailed scenarios, imagining Burns stripping the football, forcing fumbles, and setting the tone in critical moments, all fueled by rumor, insider whispers, and tantalizing hints that he could indeed anchor the Cowboys' defensive identity. The speculation alone has reshaped expectations, inspiring discussions that extend beyond traditional stat lines to encompass psychological warfare, matchup dynamics, and the art of controlling a game through pressure and disruption. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire. News for breaking Cowboys updates. Subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.